Everyone's like. Okay.
Oh, I'm sailing away, my own true love. I'm sailing away in the morning. Is there something I can send you from across the sea? From the place that I'll be landing. No, there's nothing you can send me, my own true love. There's nothing I wish to be owning. Just carry yourself back to me unspoiled from across that lonesome ocean. Oh, but I just thought you might want something fine, made of silver or of golden, either from the mountains of Madrid or from the coast of Barcelona. Oh, but if I had the stars from the darkest night and all the diamonds from the deepest ocean, then I'd forsake them all for your sweet kiss. 'Cause that's all that I'm wishing to be owning. And I might be gone a long, long time, and it's only that I'm asking, is there something I can send you to remember me by, to make the time more easy passing? Oh, how can you ask me again? You know it only brings me sorrow, and the same thing that I would want today.
Okay, everybody, I said I'd do a little video about where we actually are, so you can kind of see where we are. This is the room. This is ET Ellen Terry, which is our building 110, and that's the screen that you appear on. And this is all the stuff behind. This is a little rehearsal room, little mini place that we have. It's not really our floor. We're on the first floor. Art theatre and art spaces live on the second floor. This is a little rehearsal place, little mini studio theatre that we built ourselves, really. There's our projectors and stuff. There's the Polycom and the backstage, and I'll take you out and show you the rest of the building and a tiny little bit of Coventry, so you kind of get a sense of where we are. And this is the kind of main foyer with an inspirational quote and stuff. Weird, expensive seats, a sign saying hello, some TV screens, etc. This is the world's most boring tour, guys, but I thought I'd just give you a sense of where we actually are. Steve the cleaner. Hey, so I'm filming this, Steve from Miami. Steve looks after us, tidies up all our shit. And this is the night of Coventry. We're outside. That's the Students' Union, where they get sandwiches and cakes. That's the old cathedral spire that was bombed by the Germans. That's the Graham Sutherland building. That's the art building that they're renovating at the minute. I'm going to cross the road and try not to get knocked down, so you can see the front of the Ellen Terry building from across the road. And then I'm going to go home and have something to eat. So crossing the road, and there you go. That's our building, the Ellen Terry building. So that's the building we're in, that we're doing telepresence from, and that's where we're based. That's where acting, theatre are kind of based. And it's the Phoenix, where we go for a beer. Anyway, good night from me. See you all tomorrow. So we put a little monitor on the side. Yeah. I'll do 1, 2, 3, clap. And we all try and clap at the same time.
Yeah,
And then
I'll,
you count 1, 2, 3, clap, and we'll try and clap. We should hear something different. 2, 3, clap. No, let's go the other way.
You do it.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, clap. Oh.
Now you sing. Now you sing. So that's actually what we have. So we can sync with you, you can sync with us, but there's about a second between us.
A second and a half.
I think it's just a second. Should we do it again on your side just so that you can get a sense?
All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I didn't even get the podcast. No, they're good. But
One more for that.
one more. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's like a second or two off.
Yeah.
A lag.
And you're going to notice all kinds of weird things. I mean, should we start? Should we play something? Should we do something?
That's right. So, hi everybody. I'm Santiago Santi, if you want. I am Servant 1, Tower 4, and Bolt. So, it's going to be exciting to work with you guys. I can't wait. This is going to be really interesting and weird and fun. Mostly fun.
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Mia, and I'm playing. Oh my god, my ADHD kicked in. Gower 2, and I think Gower 2 and Nysa. Yeah.
Hello, what's up? My name is Daniel. I'm playing Simonides and Gower 1 and Gentleman 2 in Scene 6. And Justin.
Hey, my name is Justin. I am playing Gower 1, Free, and Leonine. I look forward to working with you all.
My name is Rudy. Hi. I'm going to be playing Gower 4. I have a script this. I'm playing Gower, one of the Gower 4s, and Lysa Marcus.
I think we'll agree with you that that's how we're going to pronounce it from now on. Yeah.
He's like, I'll be a bit of culture.
As long as we all pronounce these the same way, you know.
Go.
Hi, my name is Christina. I'm going to be playing Gower 1 and Ceramon. One of them. Yeah, Resident Evil doesn't know how to say his name.
Hi, my name is Adil Abang, and I'll be playing Gower 4 and Lycadoria?
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Jean Paulo. I will be Gower 2 and Fisherman 1. Hope to see you all.
Hi, my name is Laura. I'll be playing Gower 1, Gower 2, Fisherman 2, Servant 2, and Gentleman 1.
You're going to be busy.
Hi, my name is Simona, and I will be playing Marina.
Hi, I'm Daisy. I will be playing Gower 3, I believe, and how do you say it? Bound, is it?
Board.
Board. There you go.
The first couple of days of rehearsal were definitely interesting.
Yeah, like I think we'd obviously spoken about telepresence with Tom before, and we'd seen some rehearsals previously, and hearing about it is one thing, but then I thought the screen was very intimidating. It's so big, it takes up like half the wall.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh.
And I think the first couple of rehearsals with like the warm-up games and everything, it helped us to understand the space better.
Yeah.
Because rather than thinking that it is just a screen, with these games and those kind of warm-up exercises, it kind of extended the room. So it wasn't a screen, it was like just an extended part, which took a while to get used to, I'd say.
Oh my god, wait!
Go ahead, Lauren.
Oh my god!
Why is it so heavy? It's gonna get small.
I think even before going to Miami, we were already like so used to it, and it just felt natural for us.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, you know, like even eating lunch and talking and like all of that.
Yeah. Like the games, I think, because I mean we were all really nervous, obviously, because like we were, even though we didn't meet them like face to face, we were still meeting these people for the first time, and obviously they'd never done it before. And they'd never even heard of it before. Obviously, we had a bit more, not experience, but more knowledge of the actual, like, module. So when it came to, like, playing the games to obviously get us familiar with each other, and, yeah, I just think the games made us all a bit more relaxed, and it was so funny, and it was trying to, like, navigate how to actually do a game through a screen, and, like, make sure, like, it was a mirror, like, we were all doing the same thing.
Yes.
Simona, sweet.
Simona, sweet.
Anna.
Yeah.
Anna, anti-capitalist.
Anti what?
What?
Anti-capitalist. Was that what you said? Oh, anti-capitalist. Okay.
So it's Anna, anti-capitalist.
When I first started, it was, I wouldn't say complicated, but it was another challenge because I was in Portugal and my colleagues were already in the space in Coventry doing the telepresence with the Miami people. So it was like I was in a Zoom call with my colleagues with the Miami people. So it was like a screen through a screen through a screen. So it was Tom and I and people, everyone, make sure that I was seeing everything and that I was inside of the rehearsal process when they first started, which was like for, I think, 4 days. And then when I finally got into space, it was even better to just be in the space and see the Miami people actually with the big screen. It was lovely to actually start working in the space with them.
Do it again. My go. Okay.
Okay, Daisy.
Don't laugh at me.
I am.
Right. Daisy, delightful. Yes. And come on, guys. Daisy, delightful. Yeah.
I loved all the games. I think it was very interesting to play the games in that digital format because we had the screen and we could see everyone on, and it was very different than being in the pandemic, for example. You could definitely tell that we felt that we weren't as close together, but in telepresence, because we could see everyone full size and it just looked like they were all in front of us and completing that circle, it didn't feel weird at all. It felt very interesting and very natural. We just jumped into it and played with everything that we were given from the very beginning. And yeah, I think it was great to experience playing warm-up games and doing all that from the very beginning.
What
Do
you
like
to
do
when
you
are
sad?
We like to sleep.
sad.
We like to sleep on the bed.
I think it also helped to just understand what kind of actors they were.
Yeah.
Or in a sense of, or even just knowing more about Miami and stuff when we did the like the two-headed.
Yeah, when we had to like
game.
link arms.
I don't know the name, sorry.
I
well.
don't either, sorry.
But we were linked up and we were asking all
was
these
so
questions about Miami, and we already got some answers. So because neither me and Daisy have been to Miami.
Yeah, we wanted to know the places to be, and that was a funny way of actually.
Yeah.
It was a funny way of asking when we could have literally just turned around to them and said, "Hey, is this?" But
Yeah.
that was so funny. It's a lot harder than I thought as well. I didn't think it'd be that difficult. Tom was like, "Yeah, it's it's just fun, it's easy," and I was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." So me and you went up first. We were like, "We'll do it."
Which restaurant would be the worst in Miami? For now.
The worst restaurant in Miami would be Chili's.
Okay, keep at them. Get more info about Chili's.
Should we just say, okay.
Yeah,
what
start it. Yeah.
is the worst food in Chili's?
The worst food in Chili's is the fish.
I mean, I think every session we had, every rehearsal, we did a warm-up or some sort of game or something like that to get us, like, I think as well, I think everyone was still so nervous, like, even, like, oh God, how many weeks of rehearsal did we have? 2 before we went?
Yeah.
2.
Something
Yeah.
like
So, I think everyone, every single time, it was getting a bit easier because we began to know each other and we knew everyone's names and we knew what scene was what and who was needed for what. But I still think the games and warm-ups were so necessary because it allowed us to be aware of each other, even from afar, and, just, like, establish a relationship with everyone, because obviously even though we were meeting, we were acting together and we had to do this performance together by the end of it, and we wanted it to be the best it could be. So I think playing around with each other and doing all these like ridiculous like moves and clap games and shouting at each other and like waiting for like all this stuff, it was so fun. And the latency as well, and like obviously the delay that anyone gets with like any technical like
like trying to fly a paper airplane
or like clap
look seamless or
at the same
clap,
time something like that was so funny to try and do it, and we thought we could pull it off, and obviously we couldn't because it's not actually possible to do it at the same time. I think that helped us as well with like when it came to then actually rehearsing.
And yeah, it was very great, very fun to be a part of. I got the part of Simonides, which he's in Act 2, Scene 2, my bad. He was in the second scene, if I'm not mistaken. Simonides, the king, and that was a very fun scene to do. I was doing it with Anna, who's from the UK, from the Coventry people, and Gabriel, who's from here. He was a graduate of FIU.
Sir, yonder is your place. Sit, sir. Sit.
By Juno, that is queen of marriage, all fiends that I eat do seem in savory. Wishing him my needs, sure he's a gallant gentleman.
And just working with them was very fun and very interesting, especially because Anna and just everybody from Coventry as a whole, the way they work is very different from how we work. And something most of the Miami people seem to notice is the fact that a lot of their acting was very movement based. The way they moved very much followed or influenced, better said, how they acted, whereas we were very voice based, vocally based, and most of our acting came from how we talked, how we did the scenes. And I thought that was very interesting to just experience how, because yes, we've had training in movements, and they of course have training in voice, but they focus more on movement, we focus more on the voice.
Eyes open. Okay. What you can't see this side is.
And definitely the warm-up games made it easier to understand the entire acting for telepresence, being more so a thing of, because it's both mixing like screen and stage acting at the same time.
It's so bizarre.
And the warm-up games definitely helped kind of understand that, especially just being aware of the screen and where you're placed, and always like checking, because we had, at least the Coventry people had a smaller screen where you could kind of see that, oh, you're in shot, everything's fine. But then also, you know, you kind of play it to the audience or to whoever was in the room. So it's kind of like the merging of screen and stage acting in one.
Yeah. I never thought of it like that, actually.
To sing a song that old was sung, from ashes ancient Gower has come.
Assuming men's infirmities to glad your ear and please your eyes.
If you born in this leather time, wait more real, accept my rhymes, and that will heard a whole man sing.
And may to your wishes pleasure bring.
I life would wish that I might waste it for you like taper lights.
For now the wind begins to blow, thunder above and deeps below. Make such and quiet that ship shall be safe, rocking and split.
And he brings, having all lost, by waves from coast to coast is tossed, all perishing of man, of pelf, nay not escaping, but himself.
Till torture tired doing bad, throw him ashore, to do him glad. And what comes next? We're not sure. Pardon, old Gower, 'tis long's the text.
It's also the first time I really have done Shakespeare. I mean, I've done a few Shakespeare monologues in the past, but this is the first time I've done a Shakespeare play, and just getting into the mindset and really focusing on what Shakespeare does and how it's written, I thought was very, interesting, essentially. I don't really know another word for it, but it was very exciting and very interesting to really dig deep into it. And as the progress kept going with every rehearsal, every day in and day out, I found myself just not only more invested in this project, but also focused on the words and really understanding what they meant.
I am a maid, my lord, that never before in invited eyes, but have been gazed on like a comet. She speaks, my lord, that may have enjoyed a grief not equal yours, if both were justly weighed. Though wayward fortune did malign my state, my derivation was from ancestors who stood equivalent with mighty kings. But time hath rooted out my parentage, and to the world and awkward casualties bound me in servitude. I will desist. But there is something that blows upon my cheek and whispers in my ear. Go not till he speak.
My fortunes, parentage, good parentage to equal mine. Was it not thus? What say you?
I said, my lord, if you did know my parentage, you would not do me violence.
I do think so. Pray turn your eyes upon me. You're like something that... What countrywoman? Here on these shores?
No, nor of any shores. Yet I was mortally brought forth, and am no other than I appear.
I am quick with woe and shall deliver weeping. My dearest wife was like this maid, and such a one my daughter might have been. My queen, square browed, her statue to an inch, as one like straight as silver voiced, her eyes as jewel like encased as richly. In pace, another Juno, who stars the ear she feeds and makes them hungry the more she gives them speech.
It's a good experimental environment to see what can actually work.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try that. You guys are already in a perfect line. Could I have you guys just in a line at the back? Cool. Alright, let's stop there. So, this is a little improv exercise simply called Eyes Closed, Eyes Open. It was done by a dance theatre company called New Art Club, where they were touring a show where they wanted to do a show where they constantly had blackouts, but complete blackout, including emergency exit lights and everything. It was an absolute health and safety nightmare. So then one day in rehearsals, they said, should we just try telling the audience to close their eyes and open them again? And they realised that that was a lot easier and a lot more cost effective, and then created a whole show out of it. And I did a workshop with them. It was good fun. So I like doing this just as a little warm-up exercise to get the brain going in terms of messing about. So I need one person from either side to step forward.
You're going to make the new people step. No.
Happy days. Lovely. So I quite like the neck crack there. Like you're ready to fight. You're ready to go. Happy days. So I'm going to send you a bit closer forward.
Okay.
Cool. That'll do. Lovely. So the aim of this, quite simply, is whenever I say eyes closed, everyone except the two people in the middle will close their eyes. And when I say eyes open, you're going to open your eyes. So two people in the middle, don't do anything. Nice and simple. Everyone, eyes closed. Eyes open. Yeah, it worked. Cool. And now that we know how we...
You're so easily pleased that gets a round of applause.
Cool. Now, what will happen now is the two people in the centre, when I say eyes closed, because there is a slight delay, just count to 3 in your head, and then get into a position, the pair of you, to complement one another. Whether that's one of you goes down on your knees and the other one's acting surprised, or whatever comes to your imagination. And then we will open our eyes and we'll see whatever position you're in. And then I will say eyes closed again, you go to a new position, eyes open, and we just keep doing it. And we'll see what you two can do to complement one another, despite the fact being the other side of the world from one another.
Got it.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Everything clear on your side?
Yes.
Awesome. Sure. All right, let's see what happens. Make me feel old. All right, everyone. Eyes closed. Eyes open. Eyes closed. Eyes open. Eyes closed. Eyes open.
Welcome, Rudy.
Just all you need to do, lovely newcomer, just close your eyes and open your eyes. Eyes closed. Eyes open.
I think another thing as well, none of us were like scared to like, I'm talking about like in the warm-ups and the games and stuff, none of us were afraid to like be silly or to come up with a game that was a bit weird or made us look weird. Like, I think we all needed that to go forward, because the play wasn't like, it was serious, it wasn't a comedy by any means, but it had its moments, and also, you know, we just wanted to have fun with each other and then get into the serious stuff, because after that we went immediately into like actual rehearsals and like going scene by scene.
Yeah, and the lecturers were open to any kind of like warm-up
They let us
ideas,
do anything,
so
yeah.
we even did like weird, stupid warm-up games.
Eyes open. Eyes closed.
What's your problem? You're scared of famous people? I get it. Because I was once not famous. And that was really upsetting. But then I got TikTok. So, do you want to do a TikTok together?
I'm just waiting
Yeah,
for my
I'm
bus.
A in my life.
And it's just like, I'm literally just waiting for number 5. Do you know what time number 5 will be? 5! Bus number 5, do you know? I don't have a watch with me. You've got your phone, you can check the time.
This is a park bench, not a bus stop.
My man Zhao, Jesus Christ. Because the thing with Zhao too is that there was an improv game, I forget what it was called, but it was like Bus Stop, I think, something like that. And I came at him speaking Spanish, saying, "Oye, ¿por qué estás aquí?" Algo así. I forget exactly what I said, but he came at me in Spanish, forgetting, fuck, this guy's like Portuguese, so he probably knows Spanish as well.
Hablo inglés, speak English, je parle français, parle portugais, hablo español. C'est toi. Eso está normal de Pablo Escobar, tú ninguém, meu hermano. Esta vez pasada tiene amigos en Bogotá.
Mira.
Oh, mira, chico, tirándole casaco. Mira este problema. Ay, chico.
Mira, solo tanto tu pagué y ya.
I will more, chico. I got time for you, man. Latino boy.
I got time for you, bro.
So I think it's Laura left.
I'm listening to Flowers by Miley Cyrus, okay? Sorry?
¿Quién es Miley Cyrus?
Yeah, I love Miley Cyrus. She's my biggest inspiration.
But then I decided to bleach my hair because my fish, the blue fish, died. And then I got a puppy that was also blue. And then I put a little thingy on his head. And I put a little thingy on my head as well. So we were matching, twins, you know. And then after that, I took my dog and I went to lunch with him because I treat him as my child, you know.
Off with your head.
So basically, then I got bored, and I decided to create a social media page for both of us, and we got like tons of followers. But then one day, like, my ex-wife,
Laura, no.
And it turns out my mom and my uncle were both friends with a mosquito on Facebook too, which was crazy. They knew each other in college. They went to the same fraternity. Turns out they partied all together all the time. They, popped kegs, they drank everything. It was crazy. Apparently, while they were in college, they had like 7 kids together, like mosquito and human hybrids. They're scattered all over the world. I don't know where they are. Probably in different countries, like there's America, Europe, Asia. But if you go around, like asking around about people will tell you they're urban legends.
So anyway, I find out that my mom and dad are part of this mosquito hybrid worship cult all around the world, so they're protecting the children in multiple different locations. It's all funded by Coca-Cola as well. They deliver the Coke cans and all the Coke as well, with everything. So right now we're kind of in a bit of a legal dispute with the CIA and the US government on how to get legal rights over the word Coke and copyright it properly. So we're currently discussing with the Chinese government to see if we can kind of just copyright, steal shit, but we're still working out the legal disputes. But also the secretary is having an affair with the judge, so we're in the good. We're hoping.
But after my father died, I missed it so much, so I decided to get pregnant, and I named my child Father. It's about having a father. And then whenever I went to the party, everyone asked me, "Oh my God, what's the name of your baby?" I'm like, "That's my father."
No, that was too fascinating. You keep going, Em. She likes your story.
And so fatherly, thank you.
So after we blew up on Instagram, my mum decided I should really go to therapy, and I was like, I don't think so because it doesn't really work. But then
I'll move your head.
So we started getting black tar heroin, 100%. We started getting shit imported from Indonesia. It got so popular, our acapella group, that the president legalized cocaine usage recreationally across the country. So right now, kids anywhere can enjoy a free bag of cocaine. They're throwing it out of cars. Am I dead?
No, you're not.
Anyway, so
Yeah,
right now,
keep going.
We're throwing cocaine out of the vans to children at all schools, all pre-Ks. We're just making sure it really can get out there so kids can have the full experience of the Coke with cocaine. That's the new marketing slogan we're going with Coca-Cola. So we're still figuring out the legalities, like we were saying earlier about the cocaine name, the title. Cocaine dealers are now free people just dealing out in the streets, giving it like popcorn, ice cream. You know, we're having a good time. New York is really crazy.
But then I decided to do this yoga therapy where you do yoga with goats, and I was like, oh my god, this is actually quite fun. But then when I did this downward dog pose, a goat shat on my face, and I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of went with it, and you know, it was just really hard to do the rest of the yoga poses, but I went through it anyway, and actually it was a riveting experience. But then after the yoga with the goats, I got this really bad rash on my back because of the shit of the goat. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, what the fuck, what were you doing with goats? This is a really bad rash. And he told me I had 2 days to live because he couldn't take it.
Anna, no, you died, Anna.
The rash was so bad, but it looked pretty, so I decided to make a tattoo out of it, and the tattoo artist was like, what are you doing, like a tattoo and it's not like a little rash? But I decided to do it anyways, and then my best friend copied me, and they like had a huge fight because my tattoo is unique, but she still had a tattoo going on. So basically I decided to take her to yoga with the goat as well, and the same thing happened, like not only one goat.
With your head. So then, when my friend went to the hospital, we actually found out he was the first guy to ever be pregnant with whale babies. So then we were like, where are we gonna have him? We're gonna have him in the ocean, we're gonna have him in the lake, and we don't know. It was like, oh my god, it's like the Little Mermaid Ariel. And then when it popped out, it was a mermaid, not a whale. I don't know how that happened because a human and a whale made a mermaid. I don't know. I guess it was the tail and the body. And then my friend was really confused, and then my friend's like, oh, it kind of looks tasty since we don't have food. We're out there making my baby. So then ate its baby, and then a zombie apocalypse happened out of that. I don't know how, but the baby just started a zombie apocalypse, and all the zombies were like, ooh, I want to eat your brain. And then my friends were like, no, we're gonna eat your brain. So then we cut the zombie's head off and we ate their brain, and then we turned into zombies, and then the whole world ended. And then we were in heaven, and God was like, see, this is what I told you, you don't eat zombie brains. That's why we're in heaven now. And when we were in heaven, we actually had a nice little party. It was like a little get-together. I saw my dad, my uncle, my grandma, and it was crazy. I was like,
It's also, I think, this kind of environment helps to understand. It's a good experimental environment to see what can actually work.
Yes, so the museum is a tour where normally we'd all be in a space together, we'd wander around, someone would grab an object and tell us the story of that object. Now, of course, this is going to be a bit difficult because we're not all in the same room. So, what we will do is we will take turns, one by one. I'll give an example in a moment. We'll cluster together near the camera, we'll talk about what the object is. However, we are literally improvising and making up a story about the object. It might be a pillow, but to us in our imaginations, it could be the heart of Shakespeare.
We did the museum game, and we were looking
I
around.
love that, yeah.
And you were like, you know, looking at specific objects and everything. It was like experimental, but then in the show, there's many bits where the Gowers are kind of looking at Marina as like a object.
Yeah.
And then they place her in certain areas and everything.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how these like kind of experimental ideas
can actually work in a Shakespearean
drama.
Yeah.
You just don't expect that to work, but it does.
It does.
So welcome one and all. It's lovely to have you on the tour. I'd like to show you the first part of the tour is this beautiful, beautiful glass bottle.
Oh.
Now, this is not just any glass bottle. You see, can you see all of the different images on the beautiful bottle? These were written in blood by Van Gogh. The Van Gogh. And not many people seem to know this, but it was actually the blood from his missing ear.
Ooh.
I know, it is true fact. Some even say that when you lick the blood, it gives you artistic powers. But I'm not going to do it today. I will not be doing it today because I have had my fair share of licks this week.
Nice.
But yes, and thank you very much. Do you have an item in the museum you would like to share with us?
It didn't feel weird at all. It felt very interesting and very natural. We just jumped into it and played with everything that we were given from the very beginning.
It's the very casket that caught the severed head of Marie Antoinette. Deeply encoded in the webbing is the very blood of royalty, I know. So it's a very expensive piece. If we're looking to auction later tonight, maybe in the dark auction, we'll talk about it. That being said, the unique property of this item is that if you listen in, like a seashell in the ocean, you can actually hear the last words of Marie Antoinette. Let them eat cake!
I know Shakespeare, like, his work. Not him personally.
Imagine.
But I've never had to do monologues besides like auditions and stuff like that. So it was a new experience for me to play Marina, to kind of fully understand the way Shakespeare, why he wrote it and the way that he wrote his stuff, I'd say. Just kind of getting the pattern of it, being like, okay, pause only once there's commas and periods and all of that. So I had to kind of get used to that.
Why would you kill me?
To satisfy my lady.
Why would she have me killed? Now, as I can remember, by my troth, I never did her hurt in all my life. I never spake a bad word, nor did ill turn to any living creature. Believe me, La. I never killed a mouse, nor hurt a fly. I trod upon a worm against my will, but I wept for it. How have I offended, wherein my death might yield her any danger, or my life imply her any mine. Let's sit up. Sorry. Wherein my life might yield her any wherein my death might imply oh my god, I think it's this one.
Yield her.
Yeah. If it's too hard to do with one hand, you might have to use two. You gotta keep the knife on her.
I don't think you hold the knife.
But it's
the music is sword. It was two.
How is that
sword. Knife. Let it be a knife.
Doing like a dagger?
Yeah.
But it's still.
We'll have him butter knife. Yeah, go.
Okay. My commission is not a deed, but do it.
You will not do it for all the world, I hope. You are well favored, and your looks for show you have a gentle heart. I saw you lately, when you caught hurt imparting to that thought. Good sooth, it showed well in you. Do so now. Your lady seeks my life. Come you between, and save poor me, the weaker.
Throughout school, in the UK especially, we do so much Shakespeare, like throughout English classes, like we study so many plays, but obviously I'd never even heard of this play before until Tom suggested it and was like, It's about people who are separated by water and like all that. And we were like, oh my god, that's so great. And the play was great, and I enjoyed it, and I thought it was interesting, and the characters were all really interesting and very complex, and like everyone had their own little stories to tell. It wasn't just about like, you know, the main characters, which I thought was nice. With me, my character was more like, it wasn't as serious as Marina, obviously. So like I feel like I had more room to play with any bit of it, whether it was obviously with Shakespearean text, it's very like, it is what it is, and you can't change it because it doesn't really make sense. And we weren't making it a modern Shakespeare play, it kept as the same, you know, original text. But with my, you know, like acting it out, and even like my facial expressions or like the way I'd like say it, I was allowed to basically do anything I wanted to try and make it as funny as I could, because I feel like that scene was probably the only one really that was kind of comedic.
She would serve after a long voyage at sea. Well, there's Rita. Leave us.
I beseech your honour, give me leave a word and I'll have done presently.
I beseech you, do.
First, I would have you note that this is an honourable man.
Desired what? To find him so that I may worthily note him.
Second, he's the governor of this town and a man whom I am bound to.
If ye govern the country, oh, you are bound to him indeed. But how honourable he is in that I know not.
Pray you, without any more virtual offensive, will you use him kindly? He will line your apron with gold.
Whatever he will do, I will graciously receive.
Have you done?
I'm afraid she's not paid yet. You must take some pains and work out.
It was me and Santiago first, and then you came on, and that was, you know, when it started to get a bit more serious. But I think me and Santiago, especially, at first it was weird acting it out because obviously we didn't really know each other. And this scene, it was supposed to be like, our characters were like really good like colleagues and stuff, and they'd like joke and they'd have this like banter that people, you know, would have, especially if like they're running a brothel or whatever. But it was trying to get that relationship that looked like it had already been established, and they had that kind of like give and take, like comedic element to them.
Yeah, that feels better from here anyway. Okay. Just play that scene then.
Yeah,
and really as quietly as you dare.
Okay. Whither wilt thou have me?
Take from you the jewel which you hold most dear.
Prithee, tell me one thing first.
Come now, you're one thing.
What canst thou wish thine enemy to be?
Why, I could wish him to be my master, or rather my mistress.
Neither of these are as bad as thou art, since they do better thee in their command. Thou holdst a place for which the painest fiend of hell, but not in reputation change.
And what would you have me do? Go to the wars, would you? Where a man may serve 7 years for the loss of a leg, and have not enough gold in the end to buy him a wooden one.
Do anything but this thou dost. Empty old receptacles or common shores of filth. Serve by the indenture to the common hangman. Any of these ways are better than this.
Bolt gets tricked by her too. Everyone does, apart from me, apparently. I was the only character, I think, in that show that was just like, she is what she is. You don't want to do that? Fine. And that was the end of that. But, yeah.
And we did have to kind of understand that this started to get, like, the Marina kind of rebelling against the situations was a common occurrence already. So we had to kind of establish that kind of relationship.
Of them two just not seeing eye to eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being so over each other and
that was funny.
We also worked with Andy Serkis in one of the days in the second week of rehearsal. He was on Zoom, so that he said that was an experience for him, especially looking at the Miami people, seeing people on a screen through a screen. And I was directed by Andy Serkis because he had us walk in a circle while keeping the...
Exactly like that, yeah. So then circle around.
And we had to walk while maintaining the eye contact with someone else. So I was on the Coventry side, and then someone else was on the Miami side of the screen, Christina, and the two of us had to walk in different directions while maintaining the eye contact. And he wants to see, with technology, with the cameras in the screen and all the projections, basically, he wanted to see how far we can move or how close we can get while still maintaining that eye contact and keeping it as natural as possible.
Yeah, but keep that closer distance. I'm just really interested to see.
Now.
That's it. Yeah. Now start circling each other.
And working with him was great because he was so nice and so open to us and whatever we were throwing at him. He let us introduce ourselves, and we played the clap game with him, and then also the planet game, where we had to throw each other different sized planets. And then whenever you'd throw something, the person on the other side could say that actually the size of the tiny planet that you threw to me changed, so now it's huge, and I'm gonna throw the big thing back to someone. Again, working with the screen from one side to another. But yeah, then he saw two or three scenes that we had done, and he gave us some suggestions on how to work with that. And then he worked with two colleagues. He worked with someone from our side and someone from the Miami side on a more intimate scene.
Into each other's eyes.
Should we do a semicircle while we do it?
So you can go anywhere where you're keeping that distance from each other, and then just keep the volume as low and as intimate and just speaking as you can rather than projecting.
Okay. When are we doing it from when we open the
Oh, dear Diana. Do you want to start from She is alive, behold her eyelids?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, this one.
So Christina, if you back up a little bit. There you go. That's it. That feels about right. Okay.
She is alive. Behold her eyelids, cases to those heavenly jewels which Pericles has lost.
And take it right down, Christina. Just start again, but take it right down so that you're just talking. You're not projecting.
She is alive. Behold her eyelids, cases to those heavenly jewels which Pericles had lost, begin to part their fringes of bright gold. The diamonds of the most praised water doth appear to make the world twice rich. Live, and make us weep to hear your fate, fair creature, whereas you seem to be.
Oh, dear Diana, where am I? What world is this? Where is my lord?
Madam, this letter and some certain jewels lay with you in your coffer, which are at your command. Know you the character?
Okay, stop for a sec and take it down even like half as quiet as that. I mean, take it take the volume down half. Just go as quiet as you can. Really intimate.
It is my lord's, that I was shipped at sea. I well remember, even on my bearing time. But whether they're delivered, By the holy gods, I cannot rightly say. But since King Pericles, my wedded lord, I ne'er shall see again, a vestal livery will I take me to, and never more have joy.
Madam, if this your purpose as you speak, Diana's temple is not far distant, for you may abide till your date expire. Moreover, if you please, a niece of mine shall attend you there.
My recompense is thanks. That's all.
But yeah, it does seem to change
It will give me small.
kind of every time we did it, and also when we actually came to in university and we had to perform, because all of us were sitting on the sides, kind of waiting, watching, reacting, and of course that then there were many alterations made because we were used to the screen and now it was gone, and it was like, okay, how can we still create and have scenes that still hold that power or the jokes in them, even though we were used to kind of being thousands of miles away from each other.
My lord, land here.
Okay, keep going until you stop him with I am a maid. Like keep making sound until she stops you. Until she makes you stop by what she's saying to you.
I am a maid, my lord. And never before invited eyes, but have been gazed on like a comet. She speaks, my lord, that maybe half endured a grief might equal yours, if both were justly weighed. Though we were fortune did malign my state, my derivation was from ancestors who stood equivalent with mighty kings. But time hath rooted out my parentage, and to the world in awkward casualties bound me in servitude. I will desist, but there is something that blows upon my cheek and whispers in mine ear. Go not till me speak.
Fortunes.
And for me, that was kind of hard, especially because of the kind of power dynamic, because I think during Telepresence, especially me with like Lysimachus or Pericles, I could have, or even with Bolt during the same scenes, I could use the scale of the screen and where I'm placed within like that camera as a tool to show power in a way, or even to show the closeness and the genuineness of Marina, and kind of getting that stripped away from me and just having actual like Santiago or Rudy like there. It was it felt like a completely different scene to what we were used to rehearsing in a way.
Such a one as that, were I well assured she came of gentle, kind, and noble stock? I wish no better and think me really would. Fair one, all goodness that consists in beauty. Expect even here where is a kingly patient, that if thy prosperous and artificial feet can draw him but to answer thee in aught, thy sacred physique shall receive such rewards as thy desires can wish.
Sir, I will use my utmost skill in this recovery, provided that none but I should be suffered to come near.
Come, let us leave her, and the gods make her prosperous. See, she will speak to him.
Hail, sir. My lord, lend ear. I am a maid, my lord, that never before invited eyes, but have been gazed on like a comet. She speaks, my lord, that maybe half endured a grief might equal yours, if both were justly weighed. Though wayward fortune did malign my state, my derivation was from ancestors who stood equivalent with mighty kings. But time have rooted out my parentage, and to the world, and awkward casualties bound me in servitude. I will desist. But there is something that close upon my cheek and whispers in my ear.
So we had to understand, okay, how can we make this kind of comfortable for both of us within the scene, and still show that Marina, you know, has kind of the power in a way. And I think we kind of got there. It was still, as I said, very different from what we've been rehearsing, but I think the ending result was still satisfactory.
I will believe thee and make my senses credit our relation to points that seem impossible, for thou lookest like someone I love indeed. What were thy friends? Did thou not say when I pushed thee back, which was when I perceived thee, that thou camest from good descending?
So indeed I did.
Report thy parentage. I think thou saidst that thou hast been tossed from wrong to injury, and that thou thoughtst thy griefs might equal mine if both were open.
Some such thing I said, and said no more, but what my thoughts did warrant me is likely.
Tell thy story. If thou consider proof the 1,000th part of my endurance, thou art a man, and I have suffered like a girl. Yet thou dost look like patience, gazing on king's graves, and smiling extremity out of act. What were thy friends? How lost thou them? Thy name, my most kind virgin, recount, I do beseech thee. Come, sit by me.
My name is Marina.
Oh, I am mocked, and thou by some insensate gods that here to make the world to laugh at me.
Patience, good sir, or here I'll cease.
Nay, I will be patient. Thou little know how dost thou startle me to call thyself Marina.
The name was given me by one that had some power. My father. And a king.
How? A king's daughter? And called Marina.
You said you would believe me. But not be a troubler of your peace. I will end here.
But are you flesh and blood? Have your working pulse and are no fairy lotion? Well, speak on. Where were you born? And wherefore called Marina?
Called Marina, for I was born at sea.
At sea? What mother?
My mother was a daughter of a king who died the minute I was born. As my good nurse, Lacordia, half doth delivered weeping.
Oh, stop here a little.
This is no very stream that ever does sleep and mock sad fools withal. This cannot be my daughter buried.
Well, where were you bred? I will hear you more to the bottom of your story and never interrupt you.
You scorn. Believe me, to our best I did give over.
I will believe you by the syllable of what you shall deliver. Yet give me leave. How came you in these parts? Where were you bred?
The king, my father, did in Tarsus leave me. Till cruel Cleon and his wicked wife did seek to murder me, having wooed a villain to attempt it, or having drawn to do it, a crew of pirates came and rescued me, brought me to Mitylene, and but sir, whither wilt thou have me? Why do you weep? It may you think me an impostor. No, good faith. I am the daughter to King Pericles. Good King Pericles be.
Ho, Helicanus!
Calls, my lord?
Thou art a grave and noble counselor, most wise and general. Tell me, if thou canst, what this maid is and what it's like to be, that thus have made me weep.
I know not, but here's the regent, sir, of Mytilene, speaks nobly of her.
She would never tell her parentage, being demanded that she would sit still and weep.
Oh, Helicanus, strike me on it, sir. Give me a gash. put me to present pain, and as this great sea of joys rushing upon me overbear the shores of my mortality, and drown me with their sweetness. Oh, come hither, thou that begets him that did thee beget. Thou that was born at sea, buried in Tarsus and found at sea again. Oh, Helicanus, down on thy knees, thank the holy God as thou hast not our friends thus. This is Marina. What was thy mother's name? Tell me about that. The truth can never be confirmed enough, though doubts did ever sleep.
First, sir, I pray. What is your title?
I am Pericles of Tyre. But tell me now my daughter queen's name, as in the rest you said thou hast been godlike, perfect, the heir of kingdoms, and another life to Pericles thy father.
Is it no more to be your daughter and to say that my mother's name was Thaisia? Thaisia was my mother, who did end the minute I began.
Now, blessing on thee. Rise. Thou art my child. Give me fresh garments. Mine own Helicanus. She is not dead at Tarsus, as she should have been by savage Cleon. She shall tell thee all when thou shalt kneel and justify your knowledge. She is thy very princess. Who is this?
Sir, this the governor of Mytilene, who, hearing of your melancholy state, did come to see you.
I embrace you. Give me my robes. I am wild in my betrothing. Oh heavens, bless my girl. But hark, or music.
It didn't limit us, obviously, because telepresence, you know, that's not the point of it. But like you said, it's like it's an extra character in a scene. If you get what I mean, it's like it's always there, and you've got to be so hyper aware of it, and you've got to try and play with the other people on the other side without it looking like you're doing that. In the sense, like it's strange. It's hard to actually.
Yeah, even the eye levels when you want to reach full eye contact, you know, you don't look at the screen, you look at the camera.
The sea stomach be o'ercharged with gold. 'Tis a good constraint of fortune it belches upon us.
This so, my lord.
How close 'tis cocked and betooned. Did the sea cast it up?
I never saw so huge a billow, sir, as tossed it upon our shore.
Wretch it open, soft. Smells most sweetly in my sense.
A delicate odor?
As ever hit my nostril. So up with it. Oh, you potent gods, what's here? A coffin?
Most strange.
Shrouded in cloth of state? And treasured, bonded and treasured with bags full of spices? And a passport too. Apollo, perfect me in the characters. Here I give to understand, if e'er this coffin drives a land, I, King Pericles, have lost this queen worth all mundane loss. Who finds her give her burying? She was the daughter of a king. Besides this treasure for a fee, the gods requite his charity. If thou livest, Pericles, thou hast a heart that ever cracks with woe. This chance tonight.
Most likely, sir.
Certainly tonight. For look how fresh she looks. They were too rough that threw her in the sea. Make a fire within. Fetch hither all my boxes in my closet. Death may usurp on nature many hours, and yet the fire of life kindle again the oppressive spirits. I heard of an Egyptian that had lain 9 hours dead, who was good by appliance recovered. Well said, well said. The fire's cloth. The rough and woeful music that we have. Cause it to sound, I beseech you. How thou stirrest in thy walk, the music there. I pray you, give her air. Gentlemen, this queen will live. Nature awakes a warm breath out of her. She hath not been entranced about 5 hours. See how she begins to blow into life's flower again.
The heavens, through you, increase our wonder and set up your fame forever.
She is alive. Behold her eyelids, causes those heavenly jewels which Pericles has lost begin to part their fringes of bright gold. The diamonds of the most praised water doth appear to make the world twice rich. Live, and make us weep to hear your fate, fair creature, rare as you seem.
Oh, dear Diana, where am I? What world is this? Where is my lord?
Madam, this letter and some certain jewels lay with you in the coffer, at your command. Know you the character?
It is my lord's. That I was shipped at sea, I will remember even on my bearing time. But whether they're delivered by the holy gods, I cannot rightly say. But since King Pericles, my wedded lord, I ne'er shall see again, a vestal livery will I take me to, and never more have joy.
Madam, if this you purpose as you speak, Diana's temple is not far distant where you may abide till your day.
So it's kind of understanding that.
Yeah.
And I think with the closeness that I had to be there, it was, it was tempting to just keep looking at their facial reactions, because that's what actors do, they have to react to whatever is going on. But then just like kind of hearing what's going on, it's kind of like you have to multitask and also look at the camera and act while all of this is going on. So that was, as you said, it's kind of like a whole other actor or a tool
that's just there all the time.
That is there that you have to be mindful of. But it did provide loads of different kinds of opportunities for the scenes to flourish, and even using not only what is on the screen, but like how much, like the limits of the screen that is displayed, like of the room, and using like the blind spots as tools. Like when Laura did the paper, like she could hide behind like the blind spot of the camera to use this like blue paper folder to make see and stuff. So you could use those kind of blind spots and use they're not disadvantages, but they're just tricks within kind of going around the system into making theater. And I think we found many ways of doing that. And when it came to actually before that, we had a lovely opportunity of Andy Serkis coming in on Zoom, sorry. Post that. And a lovely actor, Andy Serkis, came to a rehearsal.
He did.
On Zoom. And it was also very beneficial for him to because he didn't know much about the Telepresence project and all of that. So it was good to get some advice from him, and he was very experimental as well. He made like me and Santiago to do like our scene, but in a more delicate way, like soft spoken.
Here's gold for thee. If that thy master would gain me, proclaim that I can sing, weave, sew, and dance with other virtues which I'll keep from boast, and undertake all of these to teach. I doubt not that this populous city will yield many scholars.
Can you teach all this that you speak of?
Prove that I cannot. Take me home again and prostitute me to your bassest groom that doth frequent your house.
Well, I will see what I can do for thee. If I can place thee, I shall.
But amongst honest women.
Faith, my acquaintance lies little with them. Come, I shall see what I can do for thee. Come your way.
Yeah, that was great. That was really, really cool. I mean, I felt that was I was really engaged in that. I thought that was amazing. That was really good.
In Telepresence, like during rehearsals, it felt like we had to like shout at each other.
I thought we were shouting.
Like project.
It's like they were. Like they were genuinely that far away. We were like shouting to be heard, but we didn't actually have to shout.
Yeah.
Well, not that loud anyway.
So having an exercise to do kind of like that soft spoken moment, I think it's definitely something that the Telepresence in Theatre project could elaborate on.
Look, Taisha's recovered.
Oh, let me look. If he be none of my sanctities, will to my sense bend no litigious ear, but curb its fight of seeing. O my lord, are you not Pericles? Like him you spake, like him you are. Did you not name a tempest, a birth, and death?
The voice of that Taisha?
That Taisha I am, supposed dead and drowned.
Immortal Diane?
Now I know you better. When we with tears parted in Pentapolis, the king, my father, gave you such reign.
This, no more your gods. Your present kindness makes my past misery sports. You shall do well that on the touching of her lips I may melt and no more be seen. Oh, come be buried a second time within these arms.
My heart leaps to be gone into my mother's bosom.
Look, Punio's here. Flesh of thy flesh, Taisha, thy burden at the sea and called Marina, for she was yielded there.
Blessed and mine own.
Now, do I long to hear how you were found? How possibly preserved and full of thing besides the gods for this great miracle?
Lord Cerimon, my lord, this man through whom has shone their power that can from first to last resolve you.
Reverend sir, the gods can have no mortal officer more like a god than you. Will you deliver how this dead queen lives?
I will, my lord. Beseech you first come with me to my house. Line.
Where shall
be shown you all that was with her. How she came placed in this temple, no needful thing omitted.
Pure Diane, I bless thee for thy vision, and will offer night oblations to thee. Taisha, this prince, the fair birthright of your daughter, shall marry her at Pentapolis. And now this ornament makes me look dismal with thy clipped to form. And what this 14 years no razor touched, I'll grace thy marriage day, I'll beautify.
Lord Cerimon hath letters of good credit, sir. My father is dead.
Heavens make a star of it. Yet there my queen will celebrate their nuptials, and ourselves will in that kingdom spend our following days. Our son and daughter shall in Tyrus reign. Lord Cerimon, we do our longing stay to hear the rest untold.
Sir, leads the way.
In Pericles, his queen and daughter seen, although assailed with fortune fierce and keen, virtue preserved from foe's destruction blessed, led on by heaven and crowned with joy at last.
So on your patience, evermore attending, new joy waits on you.
Here our play has ending.
You know, it was great, and then it was time to go to Miami. This is the part I love the most because as soon as we stepped out, it was, you know.
No, but you know, it's like I really want to see a full production like this. I think this. I mean, is there ever going to be a time when people get to see this?
Because part of the film, Miami, baby.
Miami, baby.
Come on, Em. Say it. Miami, baby.
I found the rehearsing process on telepresence to be more interesting than rehearsing in person. But it was great the fact that when we got to Miami and we got to meet them all, it just felt so natural. It felt like we already knew each other because again, it wasn't just a meeting on Zoom where we saw each other. It was working on telepresence, and it was working with each other and seeing them practically, like their size, seeing all of their bodies, seeing how they move and how they interact with each other, seeing how they interacted with us, even from a screen. So then when we got there and we met, everything felt so natural. And then even in the rehearsing process, we just went with it like we've known each other for so long, like we've worked with each other from the first year, and
we're on a plane, go to Miami, baby.
Miami, baby. Miami, baby. I'm so excited. Ding, ding, ding.
They're already missing us. Like, look at that Palmeiras. Oh my God. Calor todos os dias. Todos os dias. Mas quando vamos embora, this is what happens.
You make me feel like I am young again. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am fun again. However far away, I will always love you. However long I stay, I will always love you. Whatever words I say, I will always love you.
So with this series, so you're not go on to fetch us out home, but first, it's gone.
See how belief may suffer by full show. This bold passion stands for true love.
There is something that goes home with you and whispers in my ear.
You make me feel like I am free again.
Fortunes.
Whenever I'm alone with you,
Hand in hand, broken bright dress, where, by the loss of maidenhead, a baby is molded. Marina venture mine, from our fast-growing steam must find it Tarsus, and by Cleon trained in you.
Lares, who had gained of education all the grace which makes high both the art and the place of general wonder.
But alas, amongst the envy of the wrath of unpraised Marina's life, seek to take off my treason's mind. And in his clime I clean have one daughter and a full-grown wench, even ripe for a marriage right.
His daughter Immersive, although a sailed fortune fierce and keen, virtue fell through false instructions left, led on by heaven and crowned with joy at last.
So on your patience, evermore attending, new joy waits on you.
Here our lay has ended.
Cuando estoy sola, 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 sola a tu lado, tú me haces sentir aquí adentro. Estando a solas contigo. Cuando estoy solita a tu lado, mi amor, tú me haces sentir. Tú me haces sentir así. Estando a solas contigo. No necesito más que tu amor. Whenever I'm alone with you, whenever I'm alone, whenever I'm alone with you, whenever I'm alone, whenever I'm alone with you, whenever I'm alone. However far away, I will always love you. However long I'll stay, I will always love you. Whatever words I say, I will always love you. I will always love you. I will always love you.
One silly way, my own true love. I am sailing away in the morning. Is there something I can send you from across the sea? From the place where I'll be landing. Oh, there's nothing you can send me, my own true love. There is nothing I am wishing to be owning, just to carry yourself back to me unspoiled. From across that lonesome ocean, oh, but I just thought you might have want something fine, made of silver or of golden. Either from the mountains of Madrid or from the coast of Barcelona. Well, if I had the stars of the darkest night and the diamonds from the deep that's all I wish to be owning. Well, I might be gone a long old time, and it's only that I'm asking. Is there something I could send you to remember me by, to make your time more easy passing? Well, how can you ask me again? Well, it only brings me sorrow.
Stay away from Julie.